Obviously, on pain of death, can I talk about that episode? But not being her mother-in-law is a role that I'm glad that I lost.
But the cool part is, if you actually pay attention, everybody in the end won.
It was a very funny and crazy scene. Yeah.
Don't make Taylor jealous now.
It was tough. No. I was just putting him ready for her, so.
Taylor Swift's world is spinning faster than a record on a turntable, and we've got all the juicy chaos lined up for you. First up, Matty Healy's mom is throwing British shade so sharp it could slice through a Reputation-era lyric.
Not that I have anything against her at all.
Okay.
It was just, it was tricky, but...
Then, Scooter Braun crawls out of the drama vault to lecture Swifties on inner peace. Spoiler, they're not buying it.
And, my response to that is they made the horrible, miscalculation that I care.
And so on to Travis Kelce's lock screen reveal that just screamed Boyfriend of the Year. Next, Blake Lively might need to call IT support. Her Swift Squad login seems revoked. Also, get ready for a deep dive as Taylor's career gets the docu-series treatment it deserves. And finally, Travis trades footballs for fairways in Happy Gilmore 2, stealing scenes and hearts. Matty Healy's mom just spilled a teacup's worth of piping hot British shade and somehow managed to make it sound polite and savage at the same time. You know those rare moments when a mom goes off script and says what everyone's secretly thinking? Yeah, that's exactly what went down when Denise Welch, yes, that Denise from Loose Women, got quizzed about her son's whirlwind situationship with Taylor Swift, and honestly, she didn't hold back. When asked on Watch What Happens Live about the Tortured Poets department, Denise played coy at first, like, "Oh, I can't say much, they'll kill me," but then turned around and basically said she's relieved she didn't end up sharing Thanksgiving dinner with Taylor. She laughed it off, but the vibe was crystal clear. Being Taylor Swift's future mother-in-law was not on her 2023 vision board. Denise made it super clear she's got nothing personal against Taylor, but let's be real, that "it was tricky" comment did a lot of heavy lifting.
Obviously, on pain of death, can I talk about that episode? But not being her mother-in-law is a role that I'm glad that I lost. Not that I have anything against her at all.
Okay.
It was just, it was tricky, but listen, you're not allowed to say anything, and then she writes a whole album, about...
And then came the mic drop moment. Denise pointed out the obvious. Healy had to stay zipped while Taylor basically wrote a whole album dragging him through poetic mud. Imagine not being able to defend yourself because NDA vibes and your ex turns heartbreak into Grammy gold. Ouch. But don't feel too bad for Matty. Apparently the man is now thriving and glowing up with his fiancée Gabriella Bechtel, aka Gabriette, aka the edgy model who's been spotted by his side since late 2023. They're already engaged, and if Denise is to be believed, Gabriella is gorgeous and the whole fam has totally moved on.
He has taken it all in completely good grace. He's very happy with his amazing fiancée, Gabriette, who is gorgeous. And so we've moved on.
Everyone's moved on, but the drama, it never sleeps. Just ask Scooter Braun, who's giving interviews like the feud police sent him a summons. The man popped up on a podcast basically saying, "Y'all Swifties need to touch grass." According to insiders, Scooter still gets dragged on the daily by Taylor's ride-or-die fan base. Yes, the same ones who could probably organize a global coup with a single group chat. And his response? He couldn't care less. Like actually zero emotional investment. Said something along the lines of, "They miscalculated if they thought I cared," which is kind of like trying to clap back at a hurricane with a paper umbrella.
Hello, Swifties. You're going to be yelling and screaming and, this, that, and another. You can't say anything right, and it is what it is. And, my response to that is they made the horrible, miscalculation that I care.
Scooter then dove into philosophical mode, like he's doing a TED Talk on how to survive being internet public enemy number one. He got deep about how everyone's just projecting insecurities and should probably just hug it out instead of rage commenting under his photos. But let's not forget how this whole thing started. Scooter swooped in and bought Taylor's OG catalog like it was a Black Friday deal, leaving her out of the loop and fuming. That move lit a fire so big, it powered the re-recording revolution. Taylor went full mastermind mode and started rolling out her Taylor's version albums like clockwork. And let's be honest, she turned that beef into Billboard gold. Now Scooter's saying everyone won in the end. He got his bag, Taylor got her masters back, and we all got new deluxe editions of our childhood anthems with sparkly cover art and vault tracks. He even said the originals got a boost every time Taylor dropped a new version, so like, thanks for the passive income? But the man still plays the misunderstood villain card, saying there never needed to be an enemy in all this. It's giving corporate zen, but the Swifties, they're still not buying it. And they've got long memories and better receipts than most accountants.
But the cool part is, if you actually pay attention, everybody in the end won. When Taylor says that she wasn't offered the Masters, the reason I was under NDA was because we were in negotiations to sell it back to her. But the thing, for me, the only thing that I really regret is that it's easy to have a monster if you never meet them. Yes, she could have bought them back and that could have been part of the victory, but I choose to think her team maybe didn't tell her. Mm-hmm. But we ended up, when they turned it down, we ended up selling it to someone else because she didn't want us to have it.
Meanwhile, Taylor's sitting on her musical empire, owning literally everything she's ever recorded, filmed, hummed, or dreamed about. And if you're wondering why Reputation is taking a minute, it's because, as per her, it's not about revenge anymore, it's about vibes. And speaking of vibes, Travis Kelce is giving us rom-com realness with a side of full-blown simp energy, and we are so here for it. The NFL heartthrob just went Insta-official with his queen, and fans didn't even need to zoom in CSI style this time. His lock screen did the talking. Yep, smack in the middle of his look at my off-season adventures photo dump was the picture. Taylor perched on his lap, mid-Eras Tour glam, while he's giving popped collar realness, like he's auditioning for a boy band reboot. Honestly, if your man doesn't keep a pic of you as his phone wallpaper, is it even love? And guess what? Taylor's phone apparently also showed a tiny peek of their own lock screen moment because of course she matches. Social media detectives went full NCIS and matched Travis's checkered sweater to their Lake Como trip from May, because that's what we do now. Track sweater patterns for relationship timelines. It's practically Swiftie sport. And this wasn't even the only couple content they blessed us with. From snowy getaways with Erin Andrews to double dates with Blake and Ryan, it's like these two are speedrunning the greatest hits of relationship goals. There was even a Montana trip, a US Open moment, and a casual third-wheeling appearance by Princess Charlotte. At this point, they've covered more Instagrammable couple milestones than a Nicholas Sparks adaptation. Also, let's not forget the SNL debut, the Karma is the Guy on the Chiefs lyric drop, and that New Year's Eve kiss that sent half the internet into cardiac arrest. And now, Travis literally jumps on stage at Wembley dressed like a dapper human prop and helps Taylor with a costume change mid-show. If that isn't peak green flag energy, I don't know what is. Basically, Travis is living the Swiftie boyfriend fantasy, matching outfits, front row seats, stage cameos, and PDA that could melt steel. But while Travis is doing jazz hands in a tux on stage, one person who's decidedly not clapping along is Blake Lively. Yep, turns out the glitter isn't the only thing being shaken off lately. Word on the street is that Selena Gomez just threw a disco-themed birthday bash that looked like Studio 54 got reincarnated in a Pinterest board. And guess who didn't make the cut? Blake Lively. Ouch. Sources are whispering that this wasn't some accidental oversight like forgetting to RSVP on Evite. Nope, this was personal. And the tea is piping. Apparently, Blake's name got yeeted off the guest list because of some legal mess involving her, Ryan Reynolds, and the It Ends With Us saga. Long story short, Blake and Ryan filed a whopping $400 million countersuit against Justin Baldoni, and in the chaos, someone dragged Taylor's name into it like an unwilling extra. Cue subpoenas, a Swiftie legal team power move, and a friendship hanging by a thread thinner than a Met Gala dress. Now, insiders are saying Taylor's circle is closing faster than a vault door. Blake didn't just miss Selena's party, she's been ghosted from recent hangs with Gigi Hadid too, which for anyone keeping score basically means her Swift Squad membership card has officially expired. Swift allegedly is relieved, which is kinda savage but also very on brand if you consider she's got Eras Tour levels of drama to juggle. Meanwhile, Blake's been keeping her head down, hanging with Ryan and sister Robin while the court drama stretches longer than a Grammy speech. But speaking of Grammys, and the queen who keeps collecting them like Pokemon, Taylor is now getting the full documentary treatment again, because apparently we just can't get enough of her life being dissected like a high school biology project. Enter Taylor, the new two-parter coming to Channel 4, directed by Guy King, who's clearly been lurking on Swift Talk and Tumblr for years, and now wants the world to know how Miss Swift went from teenage country curls to billion-dollar boss energy. This doc promises to crack open the glitter-coated vault of Taylor's controversies, career wins, and everything in between. And let's be real. If you've survived Kanye snatching your mic, the Scooter Braun betrayal saga, and being meme-ified every time you date someone taller than 5'10", you've earned a full-on two-part biopic and maybe even a musical. Insiders are hyping this up as the ultimate peek into how Taylor didn't just endure the mess, but owned it. Like, literally bought her masters back and turned heartbreak into Grammy gold. Iconic behavior, honestly. Apparently, they're diving deep into rare footage, insider interviews, and all the archive drama, from MySpace angst to Met Gala reinventions. She's basically the blueprint for surviving 21st century fame while making it look like a perfectly choreographed dance move. Plus, with the doc set to air on UK television, it's giving royal treatment, but with less scandal and more sparkles. And speaking of sparkles, guess who's swapping touchdowns for tee-offs and absolutely killing it on set? Yup, Travis is crashing the big screen in Happy Gilmore 2, and apparently he's not just playing, he's slaying. According to the grapevine, the director is practically fanning himself over Kelce's charisma, saying the man brought comedy, charm, and just the right amount of chaos. Like, move over, Sandler, we've got a new funny guy in town, and he wears cleats. Now, this isn't just some blink-and-you-miss-it cameo. Kelce's got that larger-than-life energy that makes even the extras look like they're auditioning to be his hype squad. The crew was obsessed with his vibe. He rolled in, cracked jokes, nailed his lines, and made everyone feel like they were tailgating at a Super Bowl. The man's not just delivering scripted punchlines, he's bringing his own flavor to the role. Like he's been storing up dad jokes and goofy one-liners since his rookie season. And here's the real kicker. This isn't even his first rodeo. He's already dipped his toes into the acting pool with Ryan Murphy's grotesquerie, and now he's cannonballing into full-on comedy sequel territory. Who gave this man permission to be good at everything? Even the director's gushing that Kelce knows how to read a moment like it's a defensive playbook. Honestly, if he keeps this up, he might end up hosting the Oscars and tackling the paparazzi in one swoop. That's all for this video, folks. We'll see you next time.